Thibaut Pinot on the attack in the last mountain stage of the Tour, trying to hold off the big guns behind. What an amazing Tour de France we've had. And this stage 20 in the Vosges region, it delivered, and if GC had been closer, it would have been absolute carnage with the two Petit Ballon and Platz Varsel climbs back-to-back, 20 to 25 minutes steep climbs. So in Pinot's last road stage in the Tour de France, could he pull off the miracle in his region? And a nervous day for GC riders and even Vingegaard in the yellow jersey. But the first part of the stage is all about Little Trek. They got Ciccone in the polka dot jersey. They need him to get maximum points on the early Category 2 climbs. That's why you see him marking moves, and UAE tipped their hand early on the opening Category 2 climb, chasing that breakaway. So they wanted the stage, very obviously with Tadej Pogacar, and with the break not forming, Trek are like, let's just ride the front and get Ciccone maximum 10 points. And he was in a very, very good position at that point. And then on the descent, we saw, is that Jonas Vingegaard in the breakaway? How on earth did he get in there? And it was actually by accident, unfortunately, because Carlos Rodriguez crashed. He said his front wheel broke, and you see him here. He's just behind Jonas Vingegaard. Like, this is why even with the lead of 7:30, anything can happen on a road stage like this up and down. His front wheel goes and Kusa's behind him, and they both crash hard. And we'll see how that would affect them for the rest of the stage. But yeah, not how you'd want to start the stage, defending your 4th and 9th GC. And UAE were chasing this break with Pidcock, Pedersen, Van der Poel in at full gas, as well as Ciccone and co. And Barguil wasn't happy because Van Baarle wasn't pacing or Vingegaard. He said, well, if you're not going to contribute, go away. But unfortunately for him, I think UAE were going to chase anyway, whether Vingegaard was in it or not. So Trek tried to anticipate and get up the road again. They do with Pedersen and Ciccone and Schielmo's outstanding job by then. Bora Hansgrohe then try to launch a team attack behind them on the next Category 2 climb, the Col de la Croix de Montnard, and it doesn't really go anywhere. Jungel starts pacing, he stalls, and so with Schielmo's going quicker up front, riders like Madouas, Harper, Thibaut Pinot decide this is the time to bridge across. Kung waits from the breakaway ahead. Really good work from FDJ, and he pulls across Pinot or Madouas as far as he can go. And they got across about 25 seconds with the help of Kung, with UAE chasing behind, and that was Ku's day over. He'd lose over 20 minutes. And here's Pinot making, I think, mistake number 1. They're on the way over to that group ahead. He's got Madouas in this group, and he attacks the group, and that sort of isolates Madouas, and, Harper eventually gets across with him anyway. This group would have stalled. They're accelerating because Ciccone wants the KOM points. They'll chill out afterwards, and now Madouas has to chase on behind whilst Pinot is sort of rolling through with the group. Eventually he does get across, but little extra energy from both Pinot and his teammate that maybe they could have done steadier. But here's nearly the finish line for Giulio Ciccone. Mathematically secures the polka dot jersey. I'm super happy that someone won it who targeted it all race rather than a GC contender, so hats off to him and Little Trek. But now on to Petit Ballon. Look at the combination of that and the Platz Varsel. Not easy, steep, back-to-back, technical descent off the Ballon, and Soler and UAE are chasing, and Schielmo's drops, Vermaker drops, Ciccone's gone. That group's thinning out because Madouas has done a lead out, Barguil continues on, and now Thibaut ups the ante. And this is the start of the Petit Ballon. We've got 34 Ks left with a descent in the middle. Pidcock looking good, and the gap's good. I mean, 130's tight, and not what you'd want, but Soler's tired. Yates won't pull because he's defending his GC position. They just got to keep that break cohesive and working together like this, with Madouas pulling, doing a really good job, the same pace, and Großschartner then changes, but he doesn't put too much time into it either. He stalls, but Pinot attacks. Madouas, he looked like he had a little bit more, tries to go with him, maybe with this being his last TDF stage. I mean, Pinot riding high on emotions with his corner coming up and UAE hot in pursuit. He wanted to be soloed for his fans to see him at the head of the race. Could he pull off the improbable victory with Barguil not helping Pidcock behind? And Kelderman's now changed. The last domestique for Jumbo-Visma, he puts a little bit of time in, but onto the descent. Could he hold them off with the Pidcock group not getting there? Godou crashes in a corner. Looked like he was eating a gel or something. Didn't get his hand on the bars quick enough in the hairpin. And Platz was hard too. And there's a 6-7k plateau at the finish. But unfortunately for Pinot, UAE had other ideas. Micah sets the pace hard. Pinot, I mean, he did a good time on both Ballon and Platz, but when Tadej Pogacar launches and he's chasing you, it's going to be hard to keep a 30-second gap open. And maybe he would have, with Vingegaard not relaying, were it not for Felix Gall screaming across to those two top guns. A huge performance again from Gall today. He's dropped this group with the Yateses, Bilbao, Micah and co. They get across to the remnants of the breakaway with Pidcock having got back to Pinot, and Gall goes again. See you later breakaway. He's trying to get a pull out of Vingegaard, who keeps looking at Pogacar. He doesn't attack or climb, and now the Yates bros, they work over fourth place Carlos Rodriguez, with Rodriguez sandwiched between them. Adam did the lead out. Simon Yates attacks. Adam Yates sits on Carlos Rodriguez, who'd had the crash earlier. Then he hits him with another attack, trying to get across to his teammate Tadej Pogacar. So Rodriguez would lose his fourth position, with the Yates brothers. I mean, they rode a perfect race again today, very reminiscent to stage one, and Pogacar's got his sprint. He doesn't need to attack again. It's a flat finish. He's got his teammate coming back from behind, so there is no attack over the top, and he's on the radio saying, "Where are you, Adam Yates?" Gall, I don't know what Vingegaard sort of wanted from Gall. He paced the whole climb. He's not just going to pace you guys to the finish without Pogacar or Vingegaard relaying. And so, yeah, the Yates brothers come back, and it's obvious what's going to happen. Adam gets to the front, keeps the pace high. We've got the flat finish. Vingegaard tries to get the jump on Pogacar, but after a little bit of recovery in a fresh sprint, there can only be one winner. Tadej Pogacar winning his second stage of the Tour de France, but it will be a consolation with Jonas Vingegaard taking his second yellow jersey in a row with an even bigger lead than last year. But Pogacar wins the stage ahead of Gall, Vingegaard third, then the Yates brothers, Barguil, Pinot seventh, bit of heartbreak, then Bilbao, Jonas and Micah. Here's what Pogacar had to say after.